Shalom. I want to begin this lesson giving all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, Rakha Quadash. Double honors unto the apostles, elders, and bishops of Great Millstone that rule well, teach well. Peace, blessings, and salutations unto the hopeful elect. On a brother Yawanathan coming back with another exhortation through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shai. And Lord willing that this lesson is edifying unto the hopeful elect. Real quick, man, I was over here on X, formerly called Twitter, and I ran across this video, and it just jumped on my spirit, to make a land back. Or really just go into it real quick. It ain't going to be long or lengthy at all. All right, but it's really the spirit because last night, as the Akim and I were fellowshipping, we referenced or, quoted the chapter or the verse here. I'm going to read it real quick. This is the book of Sirach or Ecclesiasticus chapter 25 and verse 25. And it says, "Give the water no passage, neither a wicked woman liberty to gad abroad." All right. And I understand the scripture here says wicked woman, but let's go over here to the book of real quick. Let's go to the book of Ecclesiastes. Right. All right. Ecclesiastes, the 7th chapter, because I know the scripture says wicked woman in that verse. All right. But we got to at least consider the account that King Solomon wrote about, all right, concerning a woman, and you got to think about the time that it was written, and you have to fast forward it to the point that we at right now, all right, and think about we in Babylon, the word Babal means confusion, in this place spews confusion, even trickles down from an early age. So we live in a time where women are being taught to be a promiscuous very, very early. And this is something that, really doesn't have to be long drawn out. But the point just being is that, matter of fact, before I get this, let me get this real quick. 1 Corinthians chapter 7, right? 1 Corinthians chapter 7 and verse 20. Yeah, in verse 29, let me see. Matter of fact, let me see. Yeah, I'm going to start at verse 27, 1 Corinthians chapter 7 and verse 27, and it says, "Art thou bound unto a wife? Seek not to be loose. Art thou loose from a wife? Seek not a wife." Right? NLT it says, "And if you have a wife, do not seek to end a marriage. If you do not have a wife, do not seek to get married." And this really should be applied, beginning with myself first and foremost, but this really should be applied more and more in this present time that we're living in now. All right, we are truly living in the time with the worst batch of women, because these women have come up under the teachings and the ideologies of America, Babylon the Great. All right, and this place teaches these women very, very early and young to be promiscuous, to not have any morals, and they use these different influencers and entertainers to forward it. All right. So, yeah, man, seek not a wife, and if you do have a woman and she decent, right, she's good towards you, yeah, don't seek to end it, because, and of course, Isaiah 4:1 and coming, the Lord is getting ready to reverse this thing. And a lot of these women are going to come submissively, right? Going back to Isaiah 4:1, Isaiah 32, beginning from the top, right? Isaiah 13, these different chapters let us know how the Lord is getting ready to make an Israelite man of understanding more precious than fine gold. So you're going to have These women looking for a hiding place from the wind, from the tempest, from the storm, from the outside dangers, and things of that sort. So you're going to see by the numbers, all right, by the numbers, you're going to see different men with multiple women, okay? Like it says in Isaiah 4:1, to take away our reproach, you know? But the point being is what? The point being is that, yeah, this is not the time to be trying to be all head over heels for a woman, you know, especially in this climate. World War III about to branch off. The best thing that we should be doing in this set time is building ourselves in Yahweh Shai, all right? Establishing and creating a foundation in Yahweh Shai, as well as learning and applying these scriptures in our daily life, all right? So when the wind, okay, the different troubles, sounds arrive, you know, you're going to be comforted in your mind, okay? Verse 28, and it says, but if thou marry, thou hast not sinned. And if it says, and if a virgin marry, she have not sinned. Nevertheless, such all have trouble in the flesh, but I shall spare you. It says, but this I say, brethren, the time is short, it remaineth. So the time is short, you know. It says that both they that have wives be as though they had none. See? And I just wanted to bring that out because that shows you that that's not supposed to be the mindset, right? Those that have wives be as though they had none. So even though you do have a wife, and you're still supposed to put what first? Supposed to put the truth first, the Lord first, His ministry first. Okay? So yeah, man. You know, and you trying to get a wife, right? You trying to, you know, love, you know, these women, man, and they just completely gone. They just completely through. You see? What was the other one that I wanted? Wow. Let me see. Before this one, bear with me 1 second. Bear with me 1 second. Yeah, Ecclesiastes, call like Bashma Shah. Ecclesiastes, the 7th chapter, right? Okay. And yeah, I'm gonna bring these precepts out and I'm gonna play the video, man. Or maybe I should have played the video first, you know, because I understand the attention span is very, very, very short. All right, but yeah, man, it was just on my spirit, man, because hey, this dude, clavicular, however you pronounce his name, he showed forth integrity in this clip. And I'm not saying that this dude he on point or he on a level. Nah, he's another of these streamers, probably control opposition, but in this clip he showed some integrity, you know, because we live in a time age where the next man wants to, you know, deal with your woman, you know, even if your woman is out here in these streets gatting abroad. All right, the next man ain't gonna spare your woman. Hey, a man of the Lord, hey, a man of the Lord gonna spare your woman out here, dog. All right, many brothers got testimonies, you know. You got many cases where the Lord revealed, you know, a woman might be trying to deal with you, and the Lord revealed that, you know, she says she has a man, you know, and at that moment, all the communication cuts off. All right, but you got niggas in the world, they don't stop there. A woman says that she has a man and they continue going on, and that's adultery. All right, and we understand that all these women, we haven't received the majority of women that we deal with, they weren't virgins when we met them. All right, but hey, you understanding that a woman says that she has a man, you have to respect that that's the case, you know. So yeah, matter of fact, let me play a little bit of this video. I put it at 1.25 speed. But yeah, just watch this, man.
Yeah.
Wait,
Yo, what's good? Yeah. Is this your girl?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, please send me.
Damn. Yeah, she's going, bro.
Yeah,
She's going.
she's busy. Appreciate you, clearing things up. You know what I'm saying?
It gives you a little clarity, brother.
It does, bro. Now I gotta get on my little smashing journey. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I'm glad I could help you out. That's what people were talking about. You know, we're exposing the female nature here.
Yeah.
You know,
Fuck yeah, bro.
it's not like we're trying to be dick. But like
Everything.
at the end of the day,
Every bitch.
you couldn't. All right, W man, and this is the best reaction to have. Genuinely, there's so many people that would call like, "Oh, what you doing with my girl? I'm coming by all this shit."
Tell him we're busy.
But like, let's be real.
Hey, he's
you
busy.
couldn't tell with her that she was gonna be a hoe.
I mean, I had my
Yeah, man. So basically, matter of fact, I should play the beginning of this thing, but I'm gonna play with no sound because he talking crazy in this thing. But yeah, look at that. Look at that. This is the beginning of the clip. She all over him. You know, she all over him, but she got a man, right? So that's some context. Let's play it back.
My girl, I'm coming by all this shit.
Tell him we're busy.
But like, let's be real.
Hey, he's
you
busy.
couldn't tell with her that she was gonna be a hoe.
I mean, I had my inclinations, but I mean, they're pretty
You have
good
to
at,
break up with him.
pretty good at talking, you know what I'm saying?
That's fucking weird.
But look at how she's dressed right now. You see this?
Stop.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know. That one is kind of obvious to me.
She told me she wanted to go to Miami. That should have been the first.
I'm gonna
She said
fast
that?
forward it, man, because hey, he showed some integrity in this clip, man. Every other clip I seen of this dude, and that's how you know he
Out.
controlled, because a lot of these dudes don't even build the following. They just pop up on your page, you know. So that's how you know they got a backing. But every other clip, I'm like, man, this nigga through. Keep scrolling. But this one, you know, this is respectable,
Get the fuck
right?
out. No, we don't like cheaters around here. Oh. All right, now you get nothing. All right, so get the fuck out. All right, you know, we don't like cheaters.
Yeah, that's the moral of it right here. Look. When the buzz wears off, man. But yeah, he told the dude, he told the woman to kick rocks, man. You know, so yeah, that was, in my opinion, me speaking as a man, that was respectable in this moment. You know, because a lot of other men, knowing that other dudes or knowing that other women have men, they will still deal with them. All right, in the in the notion of, oh, I dealt, I effed your bitch. Excuse my Latin. You know, so that's the mindset of these men out here. So for this dude to be on stream, you know what I'm saying, he could have easily had a spirit on him and try to embarrass him on the phone, like, yeah, man, I look at your girl, like, and that's the spirit that the woman was coming in, like, oh, we only been together 1 month, just already trying to make excuses and thinking that he was going to go for it, but he didn't. All right, so this is the book of Ecclesiastes, right, just to give you the point, okay? So this is Ecclesiastes 7:26. And it reads, and I find more bitter than death the woman whose hearts is snares and nets, and her hands as bands. You see, so that word heart goes back to the Hebrew word lab, meaning your mind. You see, so it says the woman's mind is snares and nets, and her hands is bands. All right, so that's the majority of the time. All right, a lot of women just trying to use you, trying to play you, all right, trying to get over on you. You know, so that's why we ain't supposed to be. And of course, man, we in Babylon, we burning. You know what I'm saying? These women look good, right? All right, but you can't fall under that trap. All right, you can't. What does it say about the outward appearance of a woman? You know, but it says, continuing on, it says, "Whoso pleaseth the Most High shall escape from her, but the sinner shall be taken by her." Right. So, brothers, majority of the time, hey, man, if a woman ain't, that means the Lord having mercy on you, bro. All right? And you got to say, hey, Thawadiya Bashmal Shah. Call like a Bashmal Shah. All right? When you, when you escape the situation, because the Lord could allow these fine, beautiful women to, to deal with us, or we deal with them, and then now you out the truth. Now all your time is on this woman. Now this bitch got you losing her mind, man. So the Lord don't want us to deal with these quote unquote supermodels and these IG bad chicks, whatever. All right. Because they ain't right. Right. Verse 27. And it says, behold, this have I found, saith the preacher, counting one by one to find the account which yet my soul seeketh, but I find not. One man among 1,000 have I found, but a woman among all those have I not found. You see? So that's to show you that out of 1,000, the Lord ain't find out one. So think about in this time that King Solomon wrote this, and fast forward in today's time, man. All right. And that's how you got to think about it. The modern day woman, she's smoking weed. She doing drugs. She on antidepressants. All right. She done been with 100 dudes. And this ain't no woman bashing. But again, this was just more so I just wanted to, this account, have, I'm like, that's the spirit. All right. Because this Eve, right, she in Miami, right? So this is why the scripture says what? In Sirach, or Ecclesiasticus. I think we read this already, right? We'll read it again. It says, give the water no passage, neither a wicked woman liberty to get abroad. And I want to go into that word liberty real quick in the etymology, right? Because that word liberty goes into, I want to get in the, right here. It says from the old French, liberté, and that means freedom, right? So that word liberty goes back unto freedom, you see? So, and that's what these women have. They have the freedom to get abroad, you see? And this is under this man's rulership, okay? So, yeah, man, real quick, just wanted to bring out this lesson. Apparatus out, it was edifying unto the hopeful elect. Till next time, giving all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem Rcha Quadash. The bonds to the apostles, elders, and bishops, a great millstone that rule well, teach well, and peace, blessings, and salutation unto the hopeful elect. Until next time, I'm going to say Shalom.